from India. So you must have heard term, what is APT 41, right? No. So APT 41 is a advanced persistent threat group, that is 41. It is state sponsored group managed by mainly China. So this kind of APT 41 is there, 31 is there, like that. So these kind of activities performed by the state sponsored hackers. Cyber terrorists, they are not supporting anybody, they are just supporting the money. Okay. Threat, vulnerability and risk. So anyone knows what is risk?
The potential occurrence of any threat or any breach.
Okay. Threat is a means event or circumstances where the advisory impact the organization. Advisory means threat. Okay, impact the organization. That is a threat. What is the vulnerability? Vulnerability is a loophole or some misconfiguration in the system or website or in the firewall. So those misconfigurations or loopholes used by the hackers or threat actor to gain the access of that particular machine which is not authorized to that particular threat actor. Okay. So what is risk? Risk exists when that particular vulnerability is being targeted by a threat actor. Okay. Till that risk doesn't exist. Okay. So when the threat actor targets the vulnerability, he exploits the vulnerability, he gains the access to that particular machine and do other activities like exfiltrate the data, sensitive data, or damage that particular process, system or infrastructure. Okay. Map the entire infrastructure. Last year, you must have heard the AIMS ransomware case. Okay. Like that. So in the ransomware, what happened in the ransomware? Ransomware threat actor large. If the organization is big enough, then threat actor will be large. Okay. So he'll come, scan the vulnerabilities, scan the entire system. He'll try to penetrate one of the system. It doesn't matter it is a user or a admin user or something else. First, the organization face what is the face? The public facing applications. Public facing application, what will be? Like in the GNU website, that is a public facing application. Okay. So from the public facing applications, what threat actor will do? Scan that particular website, find out what are the versions are running, what are the web applications running, which language is being used to develop that particular website, find out what vulnerability exists at that time, one. Okay, then exploit that particular vulnerability, gain access. If the threat actor gain the standard user access, then after taking the access of that particular machine, what he will do? He will try to elevate the privilege. So find out other vulnerabilities that present in them, elevate the privileges, and then gain the admin privilege. After cyber attacks. So what is cyber attack? Have you heard about CIA threats? Yes. Confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Okay. So any activity which violate the CIA is a cyber attack. If it is intentional or it is unintentional, but it will be categorized as an attack or potential attack. Okay. If it is a misconfiguration, that it can be a risk further if threat actor target that particular misconfiguration. So two types of attack can be active or passive. Okay. In the passive attack, uh, what will happen? Threat actor will not directly involve or directly do any activity to the targeted system. Okay. Otherwise, he will be means seen by their parameter devices or other things. So, first reconnaissance phase, like information gathering, reconnaissance, that phase will called as the reconnaissance. So, in the information gathering, most of the information gathering will be done in the passive mode. Then he'll go to the active. Okay. So next I will tell you about the cyber kill chain. This is the process of attacker perform in any targeted system. Okay. Like if you see in the first three phases, there are pre-compromise phase, reconnaissance, weaponization, and delivery. In second, the compromise, that is exploitation. In the first three can be anything. Okay. So in the reconnaissance phase, like I have said, that we'll gather all the information, and after that, those information can be weaponized in the form of a script, in the form of payload. Okay. He can customized the payload according to the organization which which the threat actor is been targeting. Okay. Then he'll means find a way to deliver that particular payload to their organization. So the delivery method can be anything, whether it can be a pen drive, it can be an email that is phishing emails. Have you encountered any phishing emails?
Yes.
Anyone? What was the context?
Sir,
Anyone?
sir, not email but on WhatsApp.
On WhatsApp.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, on WhatsApp
Because
also, and on SMSs also. So these are now threat actor is also.
Like sir, it was from account banega crorepati.
Okay. That we can categorize in the financial fraud. Nowadays, deepfake is very prominent. So most of the people are getting the video call, digital arrest.
Yes.
Many of you heard,
Yes.
maybe like that. Okay. So in the form of phishing mails, or in the form of full disk, or in the form of social engineering. So I will cover one social engineering tool also, to how to deploy a phishing website and gather the information. Okay. So in social engineering, one very important aspect that threat actors cover, in the reconnaissance phase, what he'll do, he'll try to find out what is your behavior, in which website you're visiting. Okay, whether that particular website is vulnerable or not. We'll try to, if your your infrastructure is somehow enough secured, then he'll try to honey trap you in other ways. So now the threat actor detected that you frequently visit 123.com regularly. Okay, and then he'll try to find out the vulnerability in the 123.com. He will exploit that particular machine to exploit you, not that particular web server, to exploit you, because he knows that you will go there, and then he can trap you. Okay, so he'll threat actor will exploit that particular web server, try to gather your information from there. What is the passwords? What is the username? Okay, so many of us, what we'll do, we'll reuse the passwords. Okay, because we have so many accounts, we cannot remember, we cannot distinguish, or we cannot put the different passwords so that we can remember that. Okay, so we reuse, what we do, we reuse the passwords, and that is a human flaw, we can say, because the guidelines, what the guidelines is, we have to change our password 3 months, like we do our with the toothbrush, we change our toothbrush within three months. Okay, so but we did it. So some of the website, what they will do, they will enforce you to change the password, like the banking. they'll enforce you to change the password within a stipulated time. Okay, their website they didn't do, but what we do, we put one password in 5 websites, one password in 10 websites. So the threat actor will compromise 123.com. He'll get your password, and he already have your other email IDs. What he will do, he'll try to match your email ID and that those particular passwords. If you get the access, then your account will be compromised, and your account you can gather other information, you can access other information and compromise other accounts. Okay. Okay. So that is the delivery part. So delivery part may be very different. Okay. So in the exploiting the vulnerabilities, that will be that can be also a delivery part. Okay. After the delivery is set, is the targeted machine that is targeted by threat actor, that machine is okay. So he delivered a payload to the machine A. Then what he will do, that particular machine will run that exploit. So the payload that is delivered to that particular machine, it can be a user interaction payload. That means user need to click that particular payload to run. Okay. Or if the threat actor has compromised or find the vulnerability, that is no longer required to click by the user. So that particular payload will be okay. One very famous vulnerability existed in the iPhone, in the iMessage application. You must have heard about the Pegasus. Pegasus.
Zero click spyware.
Yeah. So, do you know that what vulnerability exploited by the Pegasus?
All the contact details and all.
The vulnerability.
Notifications.
loophole क्या है?
The vulnerability. I am talking about the which vulnerability exploited by the Pegasus.
Loophole.
Loophole.
No what is
That is a zero-click vulnerability found in the iMessage. Okay. So it doesn't need to know your machine. Just need to know your mobile number. That's it. Your iPhone is updated, latest version, doesn't matter, because that okay. So Pegasus targeted the iPhone users. The Pegasus is a very costly software built by developed by the Israel. So it is mainly sold to the states only. Okay. So that so I am talking about the vulnerability. So zero click vulnerability, that was the zero click vulnerability. So if exploited, then user need not to do anything to execute that particular vulnerability payload. Okay. Installation. So again, two methods: user interaction or zero click without user interaction. So installation will be done. Okay. So compromise happened. If the payload executed successfully, then compromise will be done, and that particular machine which is compromised will communicate with the command and control server set up by the attacker. Okay, that is the second part, command and control server. Okay, so through the command and control server, attacker now communicate or interact with the targeted machine, and he can do anything like issuing other commands, exploiting the sensitive informations, or mapping other system which is connected by that particular machine, or making the lateral movement, that we can say actions of the objectives. Okay, now he has complete control over the infrastructure. Okay, he will map. After that, he'll decide what to do. If the organization is big enough or sensitive enough, like banks, insurance companies, hospitals in the case, so he'll extract the information, patient information, banking in the case of banking, financial information in the case of insurance related informations, extract those particular data, and what after that what the threat actor do, they encrypt that particular machine. Okay, he'll map entire infrastructure, find out the where the backup is stored, where the database is, extract the sensitive information, then encrypt all, so that the targeted organization has no way to restore their data. Okay, so they will be bound to give the ransom. Okay, so that is why the backup and the recovery of the backup is very important. Okay, I think this part is everybody understood, because after that some of the hands-on will come.
Yes.
Okay, any question? Oh. So that is why what we say that no detection doesn't mean no attacks. In the zero click, no detection will be done. In the 0-day vulnerability exploitation, no detection will come. Okay, if the attacks happen and the signature, in that case also no detection will be. Okay, because antivirus is working on the signature detection only. So if the payload is different by 1 bit also, the signature will be different. Whether the attack method is same, doesn't matter. Okay, that is why we say the security is a process. Okay, the advanced persistent threat, that is APT, the average detection time of the APT is more than 200 days. Means the APT threat actor will sit in your infrastructure more than 200 days, and you will not be able to identify that you are already compromised. So that is means they at that level they are stealth enough to compromise and exfiltrate the data. Okay, so I will cover all the hands-on in Kali, because Kali has a very has inbuilt tools that we require to scan vulnerability or exploits. Okay, so all it so I have a Kali Linux in the virtual machine, virtual machine or virtual VMware
VM.
tools. Okay, so I have already installed 3 machines, that is exploitable and Kali and a Windows machine. Okay, so ये आ क्यों नहीं रहा है? स्क्रीन पे नहीं आ रहा। TPP आ गई।
नहीं चला
इसमें ही चला जाएगा।
हाँ, इसमें चला
So,
डिस्प्ले
hands-on I will be showing you in this mode because somehow the presentation while slides show the presentation, the VMware is not showing. Okay. नीचे of the commands like in the Windows, the netstat is being used to identify the connections and task list task in the task list you must have seen in the task manager the process list, all the processes list, how much resources, which thread, and what is the parent processes there. Okay, so in the task list that will come. Okay, one more information will come, that is the PID, the process ID. Okay, so through that particular process ID you can identify that which process is making those active connections outside your machine. Okay, so this command we can use in the task list. Okay, and find the str and the PID. Okay, I'll show that. Okay, and some tools to identify whether the system is being compromised or have some malware in it. It doesn't matter you have a antivirus or not, or other defending tools. It may be there that antivirus and other defending tools doesn't have the signature, and still the malware is present in the system. Okay, Progmon and Autorun, Progmon, and the Process Explorer. These three tools given by the Windows itself. Okay, so much tools. Sys internal suite. Okay, I think more than 50 tools are there. So these three tools are means for this workshop. These three tools are relevant. So I will show these three tools only. Okay. If you are using Linux machine, then netstat and TUNP. PS will do like task list, and you will grab that str, that is a PID, okay, to find the particular connections. Okay, so these are different operating system and different commands for the same task. Okay, so first I'll show the auto run, progmon, process monitor, and the process explorer. Okay. So these tools needs to be run in the administrative mode. Okay. So it take a while to get ready. You can export this data and analyze elsewhere or do the analysis here. So what it shows? It shows the registry. Through that registry, what are the applications that is entered in that particular registry. Okay. What is the path of that particular executable? Okay. And if you want, and what is the timestamp? Who is the publisher? Publisher is important, the Microsoft. That means it is mimicking the Microsoft process but doing the malicious activity. Image path means the process where it lies, where it exists. The timestamp in which it runs. Okay, and the virus total. So if you go in the options, scan options here, check virus total, submit unknown images. Images mean executables or programs. Okay, so if you do here and I don't have internet connection, that is why it is shows error. Okay. So whenever you do like that, so it will show the virus total reputation, means 1 out of 62, 5 out of 62, like that. Okay. So what you will identify that in the virus total it is flagged as a malicious. Do you know virus total? Don't? Virus total is a website given by Google. It is a part of Google. So it is a collection of malicious software, malicious applications, you can say, and it's a sandbox. I don't know whether you know the sandbox. Do you know? Anyone? No. Okay. So what is the sandbox? Sandbox is a machine in which you run the malicious applications without worrying that it will exploit your particular machine or do the lateral movement further. Like that isolated machine, you can say. In the COVID, we do the isolation of the patient, okay, because the patient was compromised by the COVID virus, okay? Like that only. We will put some machines and give the malicious application to that particular machine. It will run, okay, and in the sandbox other applications is there to identify what is the behavior of that particular malicious application. So what changes it is doing to the particular machine, what is the registry changes, what is the file system changes, which application or which processes it is connecting, like side channel attack. All of the things were monitored in the sandbox environment, and then after show the result. Okay, so it also shows the dynamic analysis of the malware. Okay, we can say that it is a dynamic analysis of the malware. Okay, so a virus total is just like a sandbox in which we put our executables that we don't know whether it is a malicious or benign. Okay. So it is a vast amount of repositories exist in the virus total. So if anyone already uploaded that particular executables or program, then it must have then you must be looking into the results of that particular executables. इंटरनेट हो सकता है क्या? मैं दिखा देता हूँ.
Yes, sir.
कौन?
सर है
आईटी था ना?
सर सेव किया हुआ है
नहीं
वर्ड
हाँ
में
वर्ड फाइल
अरे नहीं सर के सिस्टम में चाहिए
वर्ड
हाँ,
फाइल
वर्ड फाइल में है
Yes, sir.
वो
अरे यार
login ID
SCSS 2025
like virus total. So in the reconnaissance phase where we collect the information, so one additional phase is there like open source intelligence gathering. Okay, so in the open source intelligence gathering, some applications like virus total is there, Sudan is there, other hybrid sandboxes is there. So we use those particular websites to gather the information about the targeted system where the attacker targets or gather some information that is passively. Okay, it didn't do any active scans or other things. Okay, so in the Sudan, if you put the website or domain, so what it will show you what are the applications running in that particular IP, what are the web servers running, what are the ports open, okay, what are the vulnerabilities if it is open, okay, exist. Basically what the Sudan is doing, Sudan is passively scanning and identifying the particular versions, whether web server is Apache, then which Apache version is there, whether it is developed in PHP or Java or other applications. So what is the programming language version is there, because why we means increasing the version numbers, because we have some problems or some additional features in the higher versions. Okay, some problems means security features, means some vulnerability existed. So developer what they do, they fetch that particular vulnerability and add the additional feature and come up with the higher version of the particular software. Okay, that is why we come up with the different okay. So I'll share one experience with all of you. Okay. Phishing activities done by the organization also. If the employee size is big enough, then what the organization do? They perform the phishing simulation to all of their employees. Okay, to find out what extent their employees are educated. So how many employees are still clicked that particular link that phishing in the phishing mails. Okay, so one experience, one organization that is big enough national wide. Okay, they came up with us to share the incident. What they are saying that their board of directors are getting the mails from their means CMD or MD or other, means the email ID is same, but the prefix is same, but domain is different. Okay, like RVC name is there. Okay, then @ some protonmail.com, some gmail.com, rediffmail.com. Okay, push the mail to every faculty, or let's say rector, registrar and rector, only those 2-3 employees. That will be saying that we can say that those are the spear phishing, targeted to very small
group.
audience. Okay, and the content is customized to those particular audience. Okay. So what they were saying that their board of directors, there are only 4 of them, and they are getting the phishing mails saying that it comes from their MD. Okay. So and we asked, so what you are doing? So then what they are saying that we perform phishing simulation, and we are targeting our employee and sending the phishing mails to all of the employees. 20%, 20%, 20% means it's a recurrence activities to gather the information who are the employees which are all still means convinced by the content of the mail and clicking the link. Okay. So I asked then how much percentage you received. So what they're saying 20%, 30%. Okay. So that's a huge number. If you have a 2,000 employee or 20,000 employee, at 10% or 20% employees are clicking the phishing mails, that means your employees are not educated enough or aware about them. You are doing a very good activity, still they are not convinced that it can be a phishing mail. Okay. So the point was their board of directors were getting the phishing emails. Okay. So I asked that whether they are included in that particular exercise. So what is the point of doing the exercise when your employees are not getting the phishing mails, your board of directors are getting the phishing mails, and they are not included in that particular exercise? So you understand the entire scenario. They are putting huge effort to educate their employees, but not included their board of directors, and their board of directors are getting the spear phishing. So we have to cover all the security surfaces if we are doing such kind of activity. Whether it's a highest person of the organization or not. Until level. Okay. Okay. So this is the virus total. Okay. I'll show that particular. Okay. Like see 0 of 0 stress 76, 75, 76, like that it is coming. Okay. So if you have any malicious application running in the system, whether it is in the memory or in the file system, doesn't matter. If it is a process running, then it will show. Okay. What it is doing, it is submitting these applications to the virus total and getting the result from it. Okay. So from here all the activities is encountered like auto runs, all the auto runs which are run after restarting the system. Okay. So all the processes will cover in the auto runs, all the processes. Okay. Other is the process explorer. So these tools are the standalone tools that doesn't need to require to install in the system. It runs when you click on that. Okay, so you can see that the PID is there, working set, private byte, CPU uses, description also, the company name also, and here the all the processes. In which format? The parent and the child. Okay, so SVC host network communication process. So any process or any program, it if it needs to communicate through the network interface, it will invoke the SV host. Okay. It shows the operation also. Okay, like read operation, registry, key, query. What is the operation status? Okay, the path, the result, the details, other details, the time stamp and all. Okay, it's being taken from here like a process tree. Okay. So here we can select like so the processes is still running at the end of the current phase. Okay, or timeline cover display equals only. In here you can see that go to event, include process or subtree also. So in the Windows, each event is logged in the events of the Windows. Okay, and in the Linux, each event is logged in the syslogs. Here if we run netstat, A, it will show all of the connections made by which process, listening, connected, established, okay, which IP addresses. If we see what is the flags, uh, in the first two rows it shows the IP address also, the foreign IP address. Then in the second section it shows all the paths of the particular processes making those connections or try to connect. Okay, so like A1 in the Linux, because we are listing the processes also, that is why it says the elevation of the root privilege it requires to run. Okay, because process it will be a sensitive information for any operating system. Okay, so we'll do sudo or then password. Okay, right now no connections is being made, that is why it is shown zero. Other PS aux auxiliary. AUX means auxiliary. So these are the processes that is running in the Kali. Okay, all the processes path are there. So and if we grab that, let's say Python, so then we can find which Python processes are there. Okay, so So if we want to kill those processes, we can kill those processes. Okay. General hacking methods. So I have already covered most of the things. Now I will show you the hands-on practically do all these activities, identify the target, gather the information on the target system, finding the possible vulnerabilities, okay, exploiting those. So fifth step is very trivial. When you get the administrative privilege and logged into the shell of that targeted system, you can do anything. So removing those logs from the log file is not a big thing. Okay. So passive and active. I have already covered, but here you can look up these activities. So NS lookup, what we if we means we have already set up a website that for the testing purpose and for the hands-on in the different or in the VM, in the different machine or in the VM. Then what we can do NS lookup that particular domain. Okay. DNS enumeration we can do with the dig command. Google docking. Anyone heard about this term? No. So right now I think we all what we do, we just put the keyword in the Google search engine or any other search engine and it shows the result. But we can say that this specific thing you need to search only, not go other beyond that particular criteria. So that we can say docking. Okay. So we are specifying very critical activities, like in the case of finding some trivial vulnerability. So if we say that in title colon in the quotes index of slash then website, site colon website. So what it do, it will cover only that particular website. Okay, you can use the wildcard in the website name to cover major other spectrum of the domain name also. And index of means it will list the directories of that particular web server, that is sensitive information. Okay. You can search site then file name. If you want to search in that particular domain specific file like PDF, docs, log file, then this command can be used. Okay. You can also search, you can put the keyword, then after file type colon and then PDF or docs, then it also. Okay. So it will reduce the unnecessary pages which shows by the search engine. Okay. So this if you search the search engine hacking or Google docking, you will find so many other parameters also. So this comes under the open source intelligence library. Okay. And in the active, anyone knows about the Nmap? Network mapping. Okay. So other tools like Nmap. Nmap is one tool, other is Nessus. Okay. So these are the network tools. We scan through the network using Nmap or ZenMap or Nessus. Nessus has two versions, one free and one pro version, commercial. So in this we can specify some parameters also. What kind of information we want to scan. So in the ASN, we search for the IP addresses. Okay. in the hyphen P, we put the ports. Number of ports are 65535 total plus 0. Okay, so if we don't know which particular port we want to search, then we put all ports. So the nmap will scan in all ports what are the applications running. Okay. Script vulnerability. Nmap itself has a very exhaustive list of the scripts which scans the vulnerability in that particular IP or URL or domain, okay, or block of IPs. Nmap-s scan v services. So it gives you which services, what are the services are running in that particular IP address. Okay. So I'll show these commands. So when we do ns lookup like google.com, spelling is okay. So what it shows? It shows the IP addresses of the Google like that. If you want to know the IP address of particular domain, you can ns look up that particular website and find out the IP address of that particular domain. Okay. Like that. Dig command also what it shows, other domains also, other IP addresses which are affiliated with the Google also. So it is a more advanced version of the ns lookup. ns. So first I will search the services. Okay. Why I put /24? Anyone? Okay. It's a block of IP addresses. So when we use /24, it will scan in 0 to 255. Okay, all IP addresses. If we put 16 there, then it will means search 0 to in this, okay, and in this also, means the permutation will be higher. Okay. So right now I am using the Kali in the virtual environment. I have two other machines also in the same segment. So I have put this /24. It will give me other services. Okay, it takes a while to run. Okay. So I will put other. Okay, so it shows the IP addresses of in that particular LAN. What it shows 8.1, 8.2, 8.133, 8.134 and 254 and 132. Okay. So I have two other machines which are in standby mode, means shutdown. So these means 254 to that particular machine. Okay. 1 and 2 is for the VMware use to use the DHCP and allocation of the IP addresses. Okay. So in 133, the machine is exploitable, is there. Okay. 132 I am using in the Kali, and 134 is the Windows 7 machine. Okay. So exploitable 3 has many applications which are vulnerable. So I will exploit those vulnerabilities which is present in the exploitable 3. I have come with the Windows 7 machine to show you how to exploit the Windows machine also. Okay, because exploitable 3 is the Linux server. So now the result has came. Okay. You can see that one 8.2, okay, 8.1, 8.2, okay, 8.133 is an exploitable machine. That is why this much services are running. Okay. 8.34 134 is a Windows 7 machine which is not been updated. Okay, I have just installed yesterday that particular machine to show you the SMB exploitation. Okay, which is very famous very famous vulnerability SMB in the lower version called blue eternal blue and double person. Okay, used by the ransomware group ATAL. Okay, so these in this I will show other commands also. Okay, we now what we know that we in this search what we know that these much are the
So please make it full screen.
full screen. If I am making the full screen, then VMware is not coming.
What is the product?
Fonts are maybe.
Font पड़ा करते?
Yeah. Control plus.
ठीक है इतना?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So we have searched the entire block. Okay. So in which we found that these two particular machines are vulnerable to exploit. Okay. So our target is now clear. Now what we gather more information about our target. Okay. That is one Linux machine and other is Windows machine. So here we can also see that it shows the Linux version also, exploitable machine name. Okay, okay, I'll show the version also. Okay, and this is a Windows machine. ये visible है? Okay, so when we do active scanning to gather more information about this particular IPs, okay, you can search one thirty. So all the services in the 133. If you want to show the operating system, it will show which operating system it is running. So we can combine this command also. If you run the nmap does help. It will show all the parameters. How can you can use those parameters. Okay, a lot of okay. What it's saying aggressively OS guesses. So the percentage also it is saying okay the which version is there, name and other information like processes, open ports, state, services, and their version. What versions? Okay. So okay, since I am targeting the Linux machine, so in the Linux machine, in the Linux machine and in the local and Windows, very important tools are there which you can use to gather additional vulnerabilities or additional information. So like it's called TEAS, TEA. If we use Windows, then WinFees, and if we use Linux, then LinkFees. Okay, I will cover later. So if we want to scan the vulnerability in the targeted system, we will use the second command script smb vulnerability star, means smb vulnerability star. After star there is so many other scripts are there which run in that particular 139 and 445 ports. Okay, to find out those particular two ports, because the SMB is communicating with those particular two port only. Okay, so those particular, and if we want to scan entire vulnerabilities script, then we will run dash dash script vulnerability v uln, and then the IP will skip all other parameters. So that script will take a while to run because it has so many parameters to execute, and result will be shown every vulnerability that is being existed in that particular IP, which port. I'll just run this command, and when it comes I'll show you. Okay. So it will take a while. So when we got the IP of the targeted system and we want to scan what are the web servers are running, then we can use Necto. Necto is a tool or open source tool to scan the IP for any kind of web servers are running. Okay, so it will show the web servers and the domains also. Okay. What it shows? Apache 2.4.7. Okay, and these are the vulnerabilities that existing in the this Apache server. Okay. After that, directory indexing found, so we can index, we can show, we can look into the web servers also like that. So these are the vulnerabilities that are existed in this particular IP address or machine. So PHP also 3 or 4 web application is installed deployed in this particular machine. So okay, so these if you want to enumerate the databases, what are the databases are exist in the web server, you can run SQL map. SQL map is mainly used for scanning the databases and exploiting the databases. Okay, running processes and active connections I have already shows you. Social engineering toolkit. Okay, this is a very interesting toolkit developed by the security professionals. So I will use this particular toolkit to show you how the phishing pages be made and what is the response. Okay. So sudo phishing toolkit. So this is the prompt. It has social engineering attack, penetration testing, third-party modules, update the social engineering toolkit, then update the configurations of that. Okay, and show other information. So I'll go in the first. Now again many options: spear phishing attack vectors, website attack vectors, infectious media generator. Okay, payload, listener, mailer, then other wireless and QR code also, PowerShell attack also. So I'll go in second, website attack vector. Here also JavaScript, exploit browser, credential harvesting, WebNB, then web checking. So I'll go because I am showing the phishing activity, so credential harvesting. Third. Okay. So here three options are there. Web template, so it has already inbuilt web template, and if you want to mimic some website, then you can clone that particular website, use second one. And if you want to if you have already developed a page and you want to import that particular page, then you can use custom import. Okay. So I use web template. Okay. So in the post, in the harvesting, what it is asking for the IP where you want to listen that. Okay, so I am using Kali and this particular machine will be the listening machine. Then I will put the IP of this particular machine. Okay. Now Java required Google or Twitter. Which one? I'll use Google. So it started. This much easy is phishing. Okay. Now this is my IP. Google page has come. Okay. And when I you should also see the response. Response is already from the 132. Okay. If I run from this particular machine, okay. Now see the response from 134. Okay, okay. Now we put the credential there. ABC password PASS. Enter. What the page did? It redirected to Google. So if anyone has put the password and credential, so what he assumed that some error has happened and now I need to put the credential there. Okay, but he didn't know that the credentials is already captured. Okay, now see the command prompt. Email address, ABC, password in the plain text. Okay, so credential is already harvested. So if anyone made a page like this and um, crafted a pretty much convincing email that your password email has been restored or something like that, and put that particular uh, link, and that particular person is trapped in clicking that particular link and put the email ID and password, you will get the email ID and password. Okay. So the social engineering. So in the social engineering, spear phishing emails and the credential harvesting. Okay, both those three, the two things are the finding possible vulnerability in the target system. Okay, so nmap, I have I have run this particular command. Okay, it shows that. See how much vulnerabilities the machine has. First, it shows the ports, open ports and the services, FTP, SSH and HTTP. Then in the 80 HTTP, these are the vulnerabilities. Okay. In the HTTP, 8080 TCP, HTTP proxy, these are the vulnerabilities. Okay. It also shows that the target is vulnerable, likely vulnerability, also CV. Anyone know about CV? CV is a common vulnerability exposure, I think. Okay, so CV is a international body who assign the number of that particular vulnerability. Okay. Now we are also assigning the CVs. Okay. So if the Make in India product, in the Make in India product, any vulnerability existed and somebody reported to us, so we assign the CV number to that particular vulnerability and means publish the vulnerability note and advisories in our website. Okay. So all the vulnerabilities are tagged with the CV numbers. So this is a unique identification number. So first is a year, in which year that particular vulnerability came, and then the number, serial number. SQL map, Necto, okay, already happened. So GoBuster is another application in which you can find what are the web servers and what is the URL of that particular web server. Okay, so I'll run this particular. See, what is the URL, method, thread, word list. Okay, then these are the applications. I need not to visit those this IP to get these applications. Okay, this is the vulnerable machine made only for the exploitation. That is why when I am visiting this particular IP, then these 4 applications are visible. But if it is not meant for the exploitation, then this information will be visible only by this 2. Linpace and Windows Pace. Okay, so since I am using Kali is a Linux, so I'll show in Kali what are the local vulnerabilities are there. It also take a while to run because it scans all the caching directories, all the ports, all the processes, so it take a lot time to go. So when these linkages and when threat actor has already penetrated the system using a local or gain the administrative permissions to do other activities. Okay, so these tools are being at that time these tools are being used to find out different vulnerability that is existed in the local machine and exploit that particular vulnerability to alleviate the privilege of that particular threat. Now what we will do, we'll exploit the machine and show you how to exploit it. Okay, so in case 1 I will show how to scan the Windows 7 machine. Okay, using SMB. SMB is a server message block. Anyone know SMB? In college time we used to share our drives or folders. Here, done. Okay, so that particular process is used by using the SMB protocol. That particular communication is happening. Okay, when we share the drive or the folder, the SMB protocol will invoke and the communication of that those particular machines in locally happen in the LAN. Okay. So that SMB protocol here I will explore. Okay, so you can see that if I do here ipconfig, then I have the Windows 7 machine 8.134. Okay, but I have already scanned a Windows 7 machine and I have already gathered the information about the Windows machine, that is 8.134 now. And in the vulnerable okay, this WinKeys has shows the result. Okay, so these are the right now what is this not found. Okay, because this Kali Linux is the latest version 2024, so that is why the local any local vulnerabilities didn't found. If you run the older version, you will get the vulnerabilities listed. Still running. Okay, have you anyone heard about Metaexploit? Metaexploit is a tool to exploit any machine. Okay, it has a very vast amount of exploitable payloads, scripts. Using those, you can run the exploit in the remote machine. Okay, so you can search the exploits here. So it comes from sudo msf console. To 12461 exploits, 1267 auxiliary means scanners, okay, 1471 payloads, 49 encoders, 11 nodes. This is the updated list. Okay, so when we search SMB scanner, these are the SMB scanners. Okay, so I am exploiting the Windows 7 for SMB double pulsar and eternal blue. So these two are listed here. Okay, but if you want to search exploit SMB, it shows these are the exploit for the SMB only. Means the result is 286. So okay, right now I will scan the Windows 7 machine, search scanner SMB. This is the scanner. Use this SMB, this scanner. Okay, now this scanner has been selected. Now show options. What are the parameters that I need to set before running? Okay, what it shows. R port means remote target. R host is blank, that is necessary to put. Okay, yes. So I'll put set R host 192.168.6.133. No, 134. Okay, it's been set. Okay, now see the show options. R host is been set. R port is already set because that is why it's a port profile. Okay, now run, because we have set most of the parameters that is required. No, what it shows that 1.8.134:445 host is likely vulnerable to MS17-010 Windows 7 Professional Service Pack 1. Okay, so now I will search for this particular exploit. This one. Okay. So now use this exploit. Now it will change. Now it is using the exploit Windows SMB MS1017101 eternal. Okay. Now show the options. But we need to set the R host, remote host. R port is already set. Okay, and we need to set the L host, that is local host, and L port through which the Metaexploit framework will listen. Okay, so if my Kali Linux IP address is 132 and the port in which it will listen is 444. Okay. Options. Okay, most of the things are set necessarily. Okay, now exploit. it has given the meterpreter. Okay, what is the meterpreter? Meterpreter is a command prompt. Okay, so if we don't want to use the meterpreter, then we can tell that give me the shell. So this is the system32 shell. Okay, so we'll go in C drive dir. If you want to make the directory like okay, now dir, before it was not there but now it is there. Now we see in Windows 7. See it, right? Is there? Okay. So Windows 7 machine is being exploited. Okay, we have the cell. Now we can use this cell to do anything because it is a privileged, already elevated privileged cell. Okay, admin privilege. Exit. Case 2, in which I will exploit the Linux system using PHP vulnerability, because PHP server is already there. Well, that is also vulnerable, that I have already detected by the Nmap scan. Okay, so I will now not run this script. Okay, because we have already done that particular. Now I'll search the PHP my admin page exploit. Okay. These are the PHP my admin vulnerability scripts, okay, exploits that we can use. Okay, so we will use this one. Show options. What it says, what are the parameters? We have already set it the lhost and L port, that is for the local machine, and now we need to set the password. Rhost, R port is already set. Okay, so when we go to this particular exploitable machine's URL, then we can see that the password is already given, so that we can do these practices. This is the GitHub page where the exploitable 3 is. All the documentation is there in the GitHub. Okay. So what is the password? Password is exploit. Okay. Now I will set the parameters. Set rhost. $33. So Linux machine. Set password. Now show options. Okay. All the parameter has been set. not the Windows machine, so shell command will not work here. Okay, so but meterpreter is in the Linux machine is as equal to as the command prompt. Okay, so when we list, so all the PHP files, because we have exploited the PHP page, PHP web server. See, all the PHP web pages are listed here. Okay, and what is the location? Location is where www.html/php okay. So if you want to means look into other locations also, you can do that here. You can move back cd now where we are in HTML. Okay, and if you want to move back further where we are in the web further, then it will be here like bin, root, home, all these directories, root, variables. Okay, so Linux machine also exploit. Okay, so the last part, removal of the traces. Okay, so in the Linux machine, where the log files are stored, anyone knows? Anyone? In the where directory, cd where paste logs is there, cd plus all these logs. Okay, so what we need to see is syslog. Syslog is there, so tail syslog.
Pipe level.
Hmm?
Tail with pipe level.
So I think this is a it's a Vim.
Yes.
No, I won't take it.
Q, sir. Colon Q.
Colon.
Yeah. Escape colon Q, sir. You were in insert mode, that's why he's typing.
So these are the exploits. So you can edit this particular file, you can remove that particular file, or you can remove only your entries are there, those files. So because you have the admin privilege terminal. Okay, so I think these are the result of linkage. Okay, so we have covered 2 exploit use cases and 1 social engineering use cases. So 3 use cases we have covered in this slide. So now sir time है 10 मिनट ठीक है तो एक one incident, real world incident I will cover. Okay, so in this okay, so this is a the complete analysis of this particular case. This is a very you have taken the pictures, but I request do not put anywhere. Okay. So the very big organization that is also national importance organization in the country. Okay. Affected organization sandbox evasion. Sandbox again the EDR, XDR and antivirus evasion capability was there. Hijack process DLL. Remote system discovery. In the discovery phase, these are the field channels. See, these are the execution, persistence, privilege execution, escalation, defense evasion, discovery, collection. I have only put those which are relevant to this particular sandbox. Okay. So if you see the metric tactics, technique, and procedures. So in the metric framework, it is a framework developed by metric the organization. You will see all these phases of infiltration or exploitation. So it again has the reconnaissance and information gathering, all the phases. Okay. So I think around 12 or 20. I don't the exact number. Okay. In the discovery, remote system discovery, software discovery, sandbox discovery. Okay, application windows, process discovery, software discovery. All these capabilities has this by that particular sample. Input capture. It also captures the key pressed, keystrokes. Okay, so whenever somebody is logging in keylogger typing, keylogger was there only. So somebody is logging in their particular website like Facebook and other banking. So those credentials were also being captured by this. Command and control application layer protocol. Like I have said that to communicate with this detector, it uses the DNS and TCP to evade the other security applications, non-application layer. So this was the classical example. So I have shown this to you to give you the just perspective how threat actor think and how they infiltrate the system and what they want to do. Because in this we have done the from zero to end, and we have found each and every evidence is there. This report is very big report, so I have shown only 2 slides.
So sir, how did you solve that issue? Like you found out all the scenarios that the hacker was in the system for such a long time. So after you get to know that this is the attack done by the particular attacker, so how did you mitigate that?
Okay. So incident response, that process is incident response. When something happened, we respond and we mitigate that particular thing. Okay. So in the case of small enterprises, what we do that we go and we see the perimeter logs and antivirus if their antivirus server is their server logs, and we identify the anomaly in the logs and the perimeter devices. Okay, if the system has the some misconfigurations or and we see the network diagram, if any loopholes, if any gaps are there in the network diagram. So through network diagram we identify what are the gaps and what we need to identify and what we need to analyze. So after thorough analyzing the firewall logs, because we have something, we have some communication logs or some IP, some domain, so through that one information we map other information that okay, this particular malicious IP is communicating, so in the firewall log will be there. Okay, so that particular IP, how many systems are communicating that particular IP. So if has organization has thousands of endpoints, so let's assume that 10 endpoints were connecting with that particular IP. Okay, so 10 endpoints will isolate and do the configuration analysis on that 10 endpoint. Like that we do, this is the recurrence process. We found that 10 connections, we dig out to that particular 10 machines, and then we will find that okay, these machines also communicating through other IP, that is in the beginning we didn't know, but it is malicious communication again. So this entire process will repeat that particular for that IPO also. So in this recurrence process, we will go through. So this is the manual process that we do for the small enterprises. For this, because it's a big enterprise or national wise presence, approximate 6,000, approximate 6,500 machines were there across India. So we have used a Velociraptor tool, that is the incident response tool. Velociraptor. It's named Velociraptor. It's open source, I think. Open source tool. So it work in this client server architecture. So you need to custom make the client, and that particular client will be pushed to entire systems, entire means nationwide system. So they were using managed engine, so we have helped. We use the managed engine to push that particular client, and it takes 2 days to take the all the information from 6,500 machines to the Velociraptor server. After that, we did the analysis. Because through the Velociraptor, what if you are doing manually on one machine, through the Velociraptor we can do thousands of machines simultaneously. So using that particular tool, we have mitigated all the systems, this entire infrastructure, and since 2023 we didn't see any malicious communication in that application.
So were you able to get the information of the attacker from where it was originated or
All
like you told that this tool is open source which you use for the incident response. So in the similar way, anyone can use it.
Yeah, you can also download and make the system. Like I make 4 or 5 VM machines and make the Velociraptor server, then create the MSI and push that MSI to try to connect up the, get the information from those, like collect the
So
email
similarly, the
log.
attacker must be knowing about this thing.
Yeah.
And the
But,
vulnerabilities if there are any
Yes, that is why these versions are updating.
updates.
Because it's a open source, so many security researchers are contributing to that particular tool, okay, to modify and enhance.
So, being vulnerability in system is not in our hand. It depends upon the operating system and application.
Yes, sir. We need to update ourselves that what operating system we are using, how many applications we are using. If those applications are outdated, then we need to update. And if the 0 day is there, then if we are updating, then also we are not safe.
So, it means vulnerability will be always with system.
Always. Like a very good code is there. Like if you want a fully secured machine, you have to turn off your system, okay, disconnect from the electricity, make a concrete box of 10 centimeter or 10 feet and put that machine to it. That is secure,
Fully secure.
fully secure. If you are exist.
Because in the course of time, sir, we have attended all the lectures and we have seen that even by using the third party tools or application, any application which is even mandatory day-to-day things, so even then we are vulnerable and they are
Yes,
getting all the
we are vulnerable. When we use any application in our mobile, smartphones, then have you, no one, even I don't read terms and conditions.
Yes, we don't generally.
What they do, they collect all the data from you. Nowadays they like Ola and Uber, they also collecting the data of the battery. What means how much battery you have, and accordingly they will show the price. If you have less than 10% battery, they will show the larger amount, because they know that you have less than 10%, your battery, your mobile will go off any time.
Even the iPhone users are
Give
price
higher,
high.
higher.
That there was a case.
That is also, but it differ. Not always true. Not always.
Not always.
For
How
iPhone
we can
user,
prevent
Lola is charging
ourselves
more price.
from any kind
Uber.
of
When
No.
if we are aware, then we can prevent.
see,
We need to
like we,
You
almost
are
all of us
listening
are
to
aware about all the situations.
Everywhere.
Okay, but still, like, should we discontinue the use of the
Put
smartphone?
Android phone and
But it is
Put
not
the
possible
same.
in
Prices
today's
are
world.
different.
Charges are different.
Okay.
We are taking
That's the money. You used to search the same thing
There is
again
a-
and again.
means,
charge goes up.
Those two phones, one is iOS.
If somebody
Search
is
for like charging.
fearful
You will get different price.
they can use two mobile. One is feature phone, and in that feature phone put
on
the
the LinkedIn
SIM,
also.
that SIM which connected to your bank. Because many applications reads your messages also, so OTP come and listen by the applications. So if you are using feature,
No phones?
No phones.
yeah,
What are they there?
no phone is always good, sir. No one will able to track you where you are.
Landline silence.
For showing us the glimpse of ethical hacking, and we are very grateful that you came here and give us your time. As a token of appreciation, I would like to request Professor D.K. Lobiyal sir